Hi there people, this is Jaakonaho from Helsinki, Finland. I'm going to talk about my instrumental album. It's called Ghost Riot. It came out in early September and it's going to be featured in the December issue of Vintage Guitar magazine. I'm going to talk about the guitars, the amps and the pedals that I used while making the album. So I composed the music, I played most of the instruments myself, and I also engineered and mixed the album. So these are the guitars that I mostly used on the album. The first one is a 53 Gibson ES 175. It's like a jazz guitar, although I'm not a jazz player, but I like jazzy tones every once in a while. So this is it. It's a really beautiful example of an early 50s ES75. I'm gonna play you a couple of examples from the songs that I did with this guitar. I used it on 2 songs on the album. The next guitar is my trusty old 66 Jazzmaster. It's been with me for over 20 years now and I've played a lot of gigs with that one. I used that actually on only one of the songs on the album. So it's naturally road worn. When I got it, it was almost mint, but after 25 years it looks like this. It's missing a knee string from the last gig for some reason. But it's just an overall really good example of a late 60s Jazzmaster. It's a really fine instrument. It has a mastery bridge and that's the only modification that I've had done to it. Okay, so this is a 67 non-reverse Firebird 7. I've had this for maybe 2.5 years now. I was looking for one like this for a long time. Finally found it. I bought it from eBay from Florida, I think. And I've been using it a lot since I bought it. When I got this, it didn't have the original color anymore, so I thought, why not make it a color that I really like? And this is the color that I came up with. It's supposed to look like Pelham Blue after 30 years of sun. The finishing job was done by Mr. Juha Lottonen here in Finland, and he made a really good job with it. So this is not all original, it's a player guitar, and that's why I got it for a reasonable price compared to what these go for nowadays. It's a really rare guitar. I used this for one of the songs. Okay, this is a 66 Epiphone Casino. I've had this for maybe 15 years now, and it's my favorite recording guitar. I've recorded a lot of tracks with this guitar. Playing wise, it's the nicest guitar that I have. It's really light and really easy to play. It almost plays itself. So I used this on a couple of tracks on the album. I'm gonna play an example of it. It's a Rickenbacker 481 and it's with the slanted frets. It looks much weirder than it feels. Actually you don't, when you play it you don't even think about it, you just... I bought this from Kitarapaja in Helsinki, Finland, which is like the #1 guitar store in the Helsinki area. And I used this on one of the songs with a lot of shit after the guitar, so a lot of pedals, a lot of different equipment. I'm gonna show you the signal path. I'm not sure why it went that way, but the sound is really nice, so that's all that matters after all. Different influences on the album, and I also used different string instruments, not just electric guitars or acoustic guitars. One of my favorites is this charango, or actually it's ronroco, lower tune charango. Originally it's from South America, like Bolivia, Peru, Chile, Argentina, and I ordered this from Argentina from a luthier called Pablo Richter. And I've had this for maybe 3 years now. It has a really inspiring sound. It has 5 strings, mostly unisons, nylon strings, and 1 in octave in the middle. This is the traditional tuning of the ronroco. And I use it at least in 2 or 3 songs on the album. The whole album begins with this instrument. I'm also a big fan of Cuban music, and this is a tres guitar. Actually, this is a Martin made tres guitar made in Mexico. Not the most authentic one, but still actually a pretty good instrument. I use this a lot on the album, I think on 2 or 3 songs, and I also play it live a lot. The acoustic guitar that I mostly used for this album, it's a 62 Martin 0021 New York model. I've had this maybe for 6 years now. It's a really nice guitar. Amp-wise, I used 3 main amps for the album. Mostly I used one of my favorites. It's a Gibson GA8 Discoverer Tremolo. It's from year 60 and I've had it for maybe 20 years. It's a really good recording amp. It has something like 9 watts of power, so it doesn't overwhelm everything else, and it saturates really nicely at relatively low volumes, so it's a really good studio amp, also use it on smaller gigs. I also use the Fender Tweed Deluxe 5E3 from 58 that I also play a lot, and you all know what a Tweed Deluxe sounds like, so it's one of the greatest amps of all time. I used that on the first song on the album called What Suits You, and that's the Epiphone Casino into the Tweed Deluxe. On a couple of songs I used an old Showman amp. It's quite a high powered amp, it's 85 watts or something, but the cleans are amazing on that one, and I used it on a couple of tracks. Pedal wise I used everything that I could grab. I have quite a lot of pedals, I have 3 pedal boards, but mostly on the album I used this totally insane pedal board that I had made by Custom Boards Finland, which is the go-to place in Helsinki for making pedal boards. So I had the idea, maybe from my studio experience, that it would be really nice to have a patch bay pedal board. Of course that's not gonna work live, but for studio purposes the idea was that you could patch any pedal in any order, which actually is not very easy to do. But with this patch bay that we made, you can patch any of these 12 pedals into any order. That gives you a really wide array of sounds, and the pedals that I chose for this particular board were kind of one-hit wonders, things that have a really good, unique one sound, but maybe not the kind of pedals that you want to put on your live board. And I used this board for this project a lot, and it's a really great studio device. I also used the Binson Echo Rec, which is like a disc echo, and a Yamaha analog delay, and a Roland chorus echo. So it was quite a lot of vintage gear, which is something we guitar players seem to love.